What's up, everyone? Welcome to Californiathon. My name is Shasta, and yeah, welcome everyone. We got a great show lineup for the entire weekends, and hope you all enjoy. Raise money this year for direct relief, which helps out with a bunch of poverties and emergencies and all that. And here to talk about that is Campy. Wants to talk a little bit.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Campy. I work for Direct Relief. Direct Relief is a humanitarian organization. The big thing that we do is we cover medical aid for all 50 states and over 70 countries around the world. A really cool thing is we make your dollar go a lot further, so we leverage $1 donations up to $47 in medicine and medical equipment. And I also want to thank all the runners that are here. You guys are all awesome. This event's really cool. I know it's the second year for running here. So we got a lot of fun planned for you guys. I'm gonna pass it back off now.
Yep. Thank you very much. So yeah, without further ado, we got Jak II 8% with Sickynar here. So hope you all enjoy, and thank you for watching. Be sure to donate.
Okay, so I'm gonna say time when I skip this cutscene, and before, just really quick, I'm actually gonna be using a save file instead of not from a save.
They don't even know that.
Okay, they don't need to know, but yeah. So
for every age,
yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay, so timer starts when
the rocks
so
faced such a fire before they were the strength.
Go. Okay, so the first minute. Okay, we gotta watch this text. Okay, so the first minute of this game is a lot of parkour.
Do you remember how to
which
jump?
A lot of people know from Jak II.
Hey, Sicky, do you remember how to jump?
Alert!
Do I remember
Prison
how to
escape in progress.
Hopefully I do.
Ooh, that's a high ledge. Try jumping once, then jump
sadly,
again
this
while
is
in the air to reach that
parkour
one.
intensive.
Parkour!
There are lots of
bonk.
Crimson
Okay,
Guard
that's good.
crates lying around for the
Get it out of the way
taking.
now.
Break that
You are in
crate.
a restricted sector.
Okay,
This
anyway,
If
sector
you're
is
stuck before you
unhighlighted.
jump, you'll go higher.
Yeah, 'cause
you'll need a high jump to reach the top of this ledge, Jack. Dodge, Jack! Do your
it's gonna make it a lot
stuff.
just more optimal. I'm gonna wait for this to move backwards to do a trick here called a boosted. Like that. That skips this little
You are
portion
under
on the
arrest.
side there. That's actually a piece of okay, bonk. That's a big piece of Jak tech that let's see that you see a lot in the original. I'm gonna go for it again here. There's a bit of RNG in this first part because so you kind of want it to start going backwards when you get up to it like this. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go around it the normal way. Anyways.
Nerves.
Nerves, yeah.
You got this, man. You got this.
I got this. No worries. Once we're out of this, we're in the clear.
And this is what Jak II speedrunning is like. Sometimes the beginning of the game just kind of slips away from you.
Yeah, it kind of trolls you a little bit. Once we're out of here, we're good.
We're moving in.
You
Okay.
can get a
there
longer
you go.
jump by rolling into
We have
it.
movement on level 1. Take him out. There he is. Prisoner sighted. We got him. Prisoner on level 2.
If you jump and die, you'll crash down to the ground hard enough to break lots of things. Breaking stuff's fun.
I hear there's no escape, right?
Yeah, there's no escape, as you can tell. Watch.
No escape.
She tells you that, and then as soon as she says that, we escape.
No escape.
No escape, yeah. Door opens right for us.
You got out thanks to me.
Yeah, thanks, Zorlex. Shout out to him. Okay, so this is the only time we see this ability called Dark Jak. So Dark Jak is pretty cool, and in the all missions category, it's pretty OP actually because of some of the tricks that you can use. Sadly, it's just too slow to go actually collect the number of orbs you need to get upgrades. So what happens basically is it's just not routed in.
So does that cutscene end when you just take out all the guys?
That cutscene ends, yeah. You have to kill all the guys there, and then yeah, if you wiggle around the movement stick, for some reason it skips this little transformation animation. I don't know why it does that. So I got pretty good RNG there. Zoomers, which is the vehicle I'm using right now, They're the fastest vehicle you can use. And until we get the jet board, this is actually going to be like our main form of travel. There's like some sequence breaks in this game. We call the first two red wall skip and yellow wall skip. So basically what that means is you see that red wall over on the side. You need like a certain like story checkpoint to get past it, unless you know how to get around it, which looks like this. Lights out. So I'm getting really good zoomer RNG. You basically just want to... There's 3 spots where you have to hope for a zoomer spawn. That's the second one. I got that pretty much right away. Here's yellow barrier skip, which is... You don't see yellow barrier, but we're skipping it.
And this is what Jak II speedrunning looks like.
This is Jak II speedrunning.
Like you just
walls
kind of
are
jump
very
into
ambiguous. Collision is kind of non-existent if you know where to look. Let's see. Oops. So we just aggroed the guard zoomer, so he's going to start shooting us, actually. That happens sometimes.
Guard Sicky.
God, Sicky. Anyways, let's see if we can do this percent warp while they're shooting me. I might just have to do a mission reset, but... So we're going to do a thing called Mars Tomb Skip, which in the story, there's kind of this elusive place called Mars Tomb that we don't know where it is in this part of the game. Luckily, because we've already played it, we know where it is. Let's see if I can do this with guards. Okay. Oh my goodness, they're spamming me here. Okay. Okay, we got it. So, you see that elevator there? You can just do like a pretty cool hop to get right in there. And now, if you save or do the reset mission here, the percentage on the file of like progress is going to say you've done about 60% of the game. So we call it a percent warp.
So you cut out about half the game right there.
Yeah, that's about half the game. In all missions, the big difference there is you do all that stuff, which is about 2 hours worth of gameplay. So it's kind of different. And we're not really done with Out of Bounds quite yet. We're actually going to do another trick here. So...
We're never quite done Out of Bounds in
yeah,
this game.
not in this game. Never quite done. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so these pillars are hollow, and their collision kind of ends halfway up. So let's just do that. And from here, we can just punch our way to this room. There's 2 of these like trials in Mars Tomb that you have to complete. We don't really do either one, except for one room of the left tomb, and then I guess technically this little like auto scroller kind of chase. So this is called Left Tomb Skip. I have to do a water roll here. Let's see. And we got it. Okay.
Found that sweet spot.
That sweet spot. Yeah, so that's kind of precise. You have to know... I have like a really good visual cue to know where I'm at when I do that. Learning that trick at first is really tricky. So basically what that does is it gets you to the end of this like trial area where you play as Daxter. This is the only time we play as Daxter in any percent. It's kind of fun though.
This is basically an auto-scroller, right?
Yes, to an extent. There is some rubber banding, which is a term that means like the faster you go, the faster the spider goes. That only exists for the first half of this run, and then the rubber banding stops. So this part, you kind of want to try to optimize as much as possible, basically by punching the whole way. Sometimes you can get trolled, you can get attacked by these spiders, but that's not a big deal. So this is where the rubber banding ends. I want to go for a little swag trick that doesn't really save time. It's called one web, as opposed to 2 web. You skip that.
Nice swag.
That's swag.
That's some pretty sweet swag.
Okay. Okay, and to give you an example of rubber banding, you see how far back the spider is? You wait for the spider to catch up. Kind of take a break. Make sure my patterns are up here. I'm going to be doing like an audio-based puzzle here. To explain it before, because I won't be talking during it. Oh, wait, first. We have the jet board now. It's insanely broken. Yeah, that's the jet board. Okay, so the hover is probably like one of the most game-breaking finds in this game in a while. Let's see here. Yeah, we're out of bounds.
No big deal.
Okay, so
another big part of Jak II speedrunning.
So that is basically the right tomb skip. We hover all the way to the end of it, which is this area of tombstones. Okay, so now I know the pattern here. I'm going to read off my phone here.
So the way this puzzle works is it's kind of like a memory thing. So you activate one tomb and you hear what notes it plays, and you're supposed to find the other tomb that plays the same pattern. And if you play 2 of the wrong ones, you have to start over with the activating them. The last ones you activated.
Yeah,
So-
it's a lot of people know this kind of game. You know, you do matching. You
Yeah,
see
it's a
one,
matching game, yeah.
you try to remember which melody you heard. And you're like, oh, that one is over there. But yeah, so once you know which of the fixed patterns you get, it's super easy.
And you think there's 6 total patterns.
There's 6 total patterns, yeah. And I use an audio cue, so the one I hit at the beginning tells me which pattern I'm going to get.
Was that the best pattern?
That is actually my least favorite pattern. So we have to do a reset warp here, which takes me right to... so there's this boss, you know, his name Baron Praxis. He, like, runs the city. And you fight him twice in, like, the main story. This is technically, like, Praxis 2, which means the second time you fight him. We skipped the first one, which is, a lot of people know if you played it, you're, like, on this rooftop, and he's, like, a big spider guy. But yeah, Mars Tomb Skip goes over that part. This fight is relatively not RNG until the 3rd phase, and then it's probably the most RNG part of the entire run. A lot of resets happen at Praxis. Let's see. See, that was good spawn.
And then when you see his splits, you can always ask, oh, what happened to Praxis?
Yeah, or what happened at Jabu, as Zorlak says.
I also say Praxis does nothing.
Yeah, Praxis does nothing. You gotta practice your Praxis. Let's see. Okay, so this part's also fixed. You can get a 5-hit, which is basically you can actually like overflow the health, and it kind of rolls over to the next one. You see, he's at half health now, even though I did 1 hit because I got an extra hit. It makes a bigger difference in the last phase because there's a lot of RNG that can mess you up. These bombs can explode; they don't have to like land, and if they do that, like I've gotten both bombs to explode in the first phase. So basically, that is garbage RNG. So that's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna... Now there's pretty much less RNG because I got a cycle skip. I just have to follow him around. I need him to spawn a bomb. Okay. Okay. So now it's pretty much I know what's gonna happen. I do this to make sure I'm lined up. It's not uncommon for me to like choke out like really good praxises by just straight up missing him. Let's see. Okay, so he's done.
Yay.
Woo. Something I will note is that a running joke with this game is that it tends to do this thing that we call hard locking, where the game just sort of like crashes.
Hard locking is no joke.
Hard locking can literally happen anywhere. It's killed some of the greatest runs of any of any runner. There's ways to mitigate the more like infamous hard locks. And so what we say is sometimes you're not bad at Jak, sometimes Jak is just bad at itself. Because it just can't handle it. Admittedly, it pushed the PS2 to its limits in terms of coding. This game is actually pretty fantastic, all things considered. Something to know is that max speed is after 2 side flips on a jetboard. That goes as fast as a zoomer. So if you feel comfortable enough just kind of zooming around the city, you might as well just do that.
Hey, is now a good time for a couple quick donations?
Definitely.
Perfect. So we got $5 from Shadow the Brights. It's Californiathon. Hi!
Shout out to
Big
Chodo.
hugs and shout outs to everyone who worked to make Californiathon 2 a reality. And biggest hugs to my best bro, Sickynar, getting to open the show. I love you, man, and I wish I could be there in person. Crush the run. Cup of Joe. Love Shadow.
Cup of Joe. Thanks,
Cup of
Chodo.
Joe.
That's
We also
love.
have $3 from Ghost King. Says, here's to an awesome marathon of great runs at a greater cause. $3 for Yoshi and Mario Party because anything else just wouldn't be right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Shoutouts to Ghost King.
Ghost King. Okay, so coming up, here's another kind of sketchy hover. It's kind of half blind because you have to go. I'm skipping this big part of a level by doing a hover right at the start, and it's a matter of just like once you get a feel for the out of bounds, you just kind of count how many times you hover, and you kind of know when you're going to land at the end of it. It looks really sketchy. I'm gonna set ammo here for safety. Not much, but a little bit.
We ain't had a food riot since we brought dope.
Shoutouts to the Crimson Guards dialogue.
Think about it.
Crimson's Guards had some of the best dialogue in the game.
Okay, so that's what that looks like.
Bust some hay. I need cover.
Something that a lot of people remember this game being really hard, and I think for the most part, at least for me, the reason is because they just didn't give you checkpoints in this game. They, what is it? Yeah, most of the, like, inner levels, when you died at the very end, you just had to do it again. Which also is stressful for speedrunning, because usually, you know, deaths in general aren't fun, but if you take a death in some levels, you lose a lot of time. Let's see here. Crimson Guard spawns are random. If you hit a Crimson Guard without doing a trick, you take damage and you're knocked off your jet board. If you're doing a trick, you can actually damage them and you're not like affected. Let's see here. Nice. Okay. This is a little time saver. A lot of hovers, just kind of over walls, usually is optimal. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world, but that's the thing about the hover is we're still slowly finding like new death warps, new ways to just kind of hover over stuff. It's tricky though because this game is like a jigsaw puzzle of like loading zones. If you skip certain loading zones, you just like the city won't load or the map won't load. So that makes speedrunning it, like routing it, kind of difficult because you think, okay, I can just hover straight from like the main city to like the forest. You can't because usually it'll just kind of be a void and there won't be any like reset checkpoints over there.
So this is basically another auto-scroller here?
This level is an auto-scroller to an extent. There's going to be a fight at the very beginning and the end that can fluctuate the time a little bit by maybe 10 or so seconds. Something about these guys, other than I love what they say, they're hilarious. I've probably done like 1,000-something attempts of this game, and I never get sick of these guys. Especially Jinx, he's gonna shoot me there. Okay, good. Okay. So these spawns are random. You want them to all be on, like, this side. They're kind of spawning. You don't want them to alternate spawning points, basically, because it's a lot of movement like this. You just want them to kind of hang out in the same area.
We're clear.
That wasn't great, but that was fine. There's a skip here. Usually you're supposed to wait for it to explode and you kill these guys here and then you go up front, but if you kill the guys up front fast enough, you just skip the fight before it. It involves tanking a hit here, though. Think I got it? Okay, when you hear him say you're pretty handy with that Iron Blondie, you know you got it. Those guys are always there. You don't have to wait for them to spawn. You're going to see me stop moving at certain parts, and the reason is because if you go too far from the guys, the mission will end. So you kind of just have to know how far you can go before you cross, like, the mission end checkpoint. That way you don't have to, like, spend the time moving, like, after they've already spawned.
And they have audio cues, right?
There are some, yeah, like, the sewers and tombstones are the places that I like to have audio cues. Okay, I'm going to play this safe because it's just a hit. Okay. And then this is a very auto-scrollery part. You're just kind of waiting for them to walk over here. So you can kind of mess around, do whatever the heck you want. Like, jet board.
You're probably creating lag, man.
Yeah, I'm creating a lot of input lag. Here's a funny thing. So if you do like a spin trick in the middle of the air and cancel it, the jet board is sideways. Yeah, you can do like swag hovers. Once Mog gets here, mission starts. I love Mog.
This is basically the same thing that you just spawns.
Yeah, these spawns aren't very random. Sometimes they'll spawn behind you, which kind of stinks because you have to sort of turn around. If you can get them all up to spawn up here, you can just rapid fire the blue gun and get rid of most of them before you have to dip into your yellow ammo. Yellow ammo management here is kind of important because there's going to be a mission later where you don't get any ammo refills, and if you run out of yellow, it's a lot harder. I have about 127, which is really good in terms of yellow ammo, and that's mostly because I got some safety refills before that blind cover I showed you.
This ammo count, is this actually staying basically till the end of the game?
Ammo count is important until about halfway, and then we get a really big like ammo refill, which should sustain us for the rest of the game. So mostly the only important part is for the bomb bots mission, which you'll see like right now. That's why I check my ammo count like right there, because I basically need it now. If you have less than 100 yellow there, it's sketchy. You can dip into your blue, but it costs a little bit of time because you have to switch weapons.
So why'd you switch, open the elevator and then go back into it?
That is because it's actually faster by a fraction of a second, because the door up top opens faster if you like cross a loading zone. There's a lot of really good comparisons of these tiny little strats. Our runner XT Baser is really good about making these comparisons. So if you go to his YouTube channel, there's so many, and it's really nice too because like it's really hard to tell with some time saves because they're either so minute or it's just a matter of like load times, which will vary a lot. So here's the bomb bots mission. Something to note is that these enemies, they don't have iframes. So if you just spam this like spam spray shot by spinning and using the yellow gun, you can kill them pretty quick. And that's like an exploit of the gun that I don't think was intended. You can do certain combos that make you rapid fire the yellow gun, but if you just do a spin attack while shooting it, it's just like you don't even need to be targeting an enemy. He'll just do it, and you'll see that here. Okay, once you hear the beeping, you can just go.
But the fact that everyone doesn't.
I know. Okay, Jak is really mean. He like bumps into people. You know, he just has no like regard for the civilians. I think like the gimmick about this, well, you know, not gimmick, but kind of one of the big things about this game is that it's a lot like edgier than the first one. You know, Jak has long hair. You know, he's a rebel.
It's so dark.
Yeah, it's so dark, man. Also, so did you know that you can change the hover zone?
Did you know you can jump without one?
You know, I was not aware. Thank you very much. Let's see. Something common is to just kind of quote Daxter at the beginning, because you hear him so many times. It's just hilarious.
Especially if you reset it like Sicky does.
I reset a lot. People tell me I gotta do push-ups for every reset, because I just do so many. Okay. So, that's really good Zoomer RNG. You kind of just want one to spawn right away there. This is going to be the first of 3 races coming up. And something to note right now is that collision changes when you're on a vehicle, because I think what Naughty Dog was trying to do, this is what I figured, corners get softer in the sense that you can you don't crash into corners as bad when you're on a vehicle, just to make it smoother. But sometimes when 2 corners are you know, adjacent to each other, there's sort of like a hole in the wall, which, let's see right here. I'm so desensitized to these things that I forget to mention them before. I kind of just do them.
Nice.
Yeah. Collision in this game, very ambiguous. Fun fact, if you skip a cutscene on the first frame that it starts, you'll hardlock the game.
Oh, nice.
So we always wait like a little half second. And actually, at the end of the game, the final cutscene, there's like a scene that's like basically 100% guaranteed to hardlock the game. So sometimes I do that after I PvP for fun, because the run's over. So.
Run's not over till you see the end.
Yeah, until you see the end. Yeah. Okay, so this is 5 laps. We're not going to see the NPCs in this race again until probably lap 5. But that's when the run can get scary, or the race, because they control you really hard, and they've done all sorts of wacky stuff to me. Like they've actually like crashed into walls, and their explosion will make me explode, and I've like lost runs. You kind of just have to be ready for anything. There's a kind of a harder lap skip you can do that saves a little bit more time. I do it for laps 2 to 4 because NPCs aren't in the way. I've also lost runs because I'm setting up for that lap skip you just saw me do, and they've just like collided with me you know, head on. It's awesome.
Are there any other strats for speed manipulation or something like that? Or?
In this run, or in this race, no. Just boost routing can be kind of a thing. You just want to know where to boost to like get the most out of it. Some places, if you boost like that jump, if you boost before that, you actually run the risk of crashing into the ceiling and dying. It's about knowing where and when. Stuff like keeping the turn sharp while still boosting, getting a feel for it. It's kind of annoying that the zoomer in the races feels completely different in terms of handling than the ones like in the cities.
Of course it does.
So it's like, yeah, thanks, Naughty Dog. I get so used to like the vehicles in the city that I'm thrown for a loop here. Okay, so as you can see, NPCs, they're gonna troll me. They can steal your boost sometimes. This looks pretty good. I'm still not gonna do the lap skip, even though I'm still pretty safe. So I'm gonna do like the quote unquote safe one. They're all kind of sketchy though. Let's see. This might sub 2. Can't tell. This is boost 2. Oh, almost.
Not even sub 2.
Not even sub 2.
Not even
Reset.
sub 2.
You know, this is tragic. Okay, so hopefully some more good. This is amazing, dude. I've had great Zuma RNG. I got that exact same spawn there during practice, and I said to myself, I'm like, you're not going to get this in the marathon. But it looks like it's playing nicely. So, okay, we're going to do a thing. We're going to see a series of reset warps that I'm going to chain together. And the reason I do that is because when you cross certain checkpoints, it changes your spawn point. And if it changes it to somewhere kind of like further in, you know, the game that you're trying to go, you can just use it as like a fast travel, so to speak. You do this about 3 times in the run, I believe.
So I've seen a couple runs of this. I watch your stream enough. I don't understand what's the point of the races. Like, what's going on in the story at that point?
So in the story, Jak is trying to he's trying to get a connection into, I think, like the Baron's like castle, because the last race you do, you actually get like a pass to enter his castle, and you use that to like infiltrate him. I think that's the main gist of doing the races.
It's a sweet grind.
That's a sweet grind. I do that for angle correction, so I can just make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, so we're actually going to get a pretty cool weapon. It's not useful except for 2 points in the run, and then it's very useful. It's called the Peacemaker. Nice, I got this hover. This hover is very annoying. So, there's a sketchy strat you can do here where you fall directly into the room. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the safe way.
Oh, Jak II speedruns.
Oh, Jak II speedruns, hover, basically.
Hover out of bounds.
Okay, so this is... I almost like reached for my split button right there. Yeah, gotta hear that satisfying, like, clank.
That was a lot louder than I thought it would be.
Okay, so we got the Peacemaker. This weapon's pretty broken. It deals a lot of damage. But we're not going to see it quite yet, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to do the second race here, right, you know, back to back. This one's different. It's in the city. Still same handling as the other race zoomers, so it's pretty bad. This time we're racing Errol. Who hopefully we won't see ever again, because we're just going to go really fast. Because there is rubber banding in this race, but it's if you're fast enough, you can just beat out the rubber banding entirely.
You have to hit each one of these rings, right?
Yeah, you have to hit each one of these rings to get both a speed boost, and you have to chain them together. If you get them out of sequence, like you skip this one, you get the next one, the mission will end. So it's kind of stressful. You want to make sure you get each one. People can be like solid, quote unquote, here, which means that you can hit them, and then they'll just send you flying in like some random direction. That's not fun.
Only in this part, right?
Yeah, only in this part, really. You don't ever have to worry about that again. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes you can, like, jetboard into them, but it's pretty minimal. Let's see. There's, like, a ringless route for this race that you can actually do that's potentially faster. But it's not really RTA viable. It's more for, like, an individual level speedrun. Let's see. I do little time checks here. Like, if I get here in about 1 minute, 5 seconds, it means, like, I'm a pretty close. So this is looking pretty okay. It's not too hard to sub to the Errol race. This is like a 158 pace or something.
I've seen way too many runs die in the Errol race.
Errol race is... Oh, you can bonk people there. Errol race is pretty finicky. He can... not him, but, you know, pedestrians can really wreck you here. Also, missing rings sometimes. It's really hard, because handling of the zoomer will get to you. Something to know is if you do like hops while you're sideways, it'll actually make you do sharp turns, which is super nice. I didn't realize that for like a year, and I was like, oh, why is this race so hard? And I'm like, oh, thanks to this. I'm going to try to time this sharp turn so I don't bonk the wall. Okay, I bonked, but this is still going to sub it. I think. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Cool. I got a couple quick donations here.
Definitely.
We have $20 from Maddie the Human. Says, good luck, Sickynar. You got this. Cup of Joe. Cup of Cry.
Cup of Cry.
And we got $10 from Boomer. Says, hey, Sicky. Good luck on your run. The Jak community is cheering for you right now. Make us proud. Cup of Joe. And Ohio, my dude. Much love, Boomer. Heart.
Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Boomer. That's awesome. Boomer is a great Jak II runner. The Jak II community is so supportive. We try to really help each other out and stuff. Like, when I first entered this community, it was nothing but really supportive people.
I bet you Boomer knows how to jump.
Boomer knows how to jump. Yeah, like a pro. He taught me how to jump. We're gonna do this thing. Okay, you're gonna see something weird. there's a building you're supposed to kind of get to using like this, like you get in a mech suit and you do all these like obstacle courses. But with the hover, we don't really need to ever get in this mech suit, and we can just go straight there. It's not going to load like the building we're trying to get into, but don't be alarmed. There's still a cutscene trigger there, which we can hit. We just have to strategically fly into it. Like that.
Strategically.
Strategic. Very, what's the word? Premeditated.
I was almost alarmed, but you told me not to be alarmed, so...
Yeah, no, I know Zorlak. You tend to get alarmed, so, don't worry. Here's a thing called Ghost Town, if I can get it. We're still gonna go for it. No, we're not. Okay. Sometimes you can do a backup, but that's not a big deal. It's like a 7 to 10 second time save. Not the end of the world, though.
Nope, that's the end of the world.
Just reset. Okay.
Ghost up 2 first race. Missing that hover.
Yeah, missing the Ghost Town hover. Tragic. If I get the other Ghost Town, it's fine. I want to show you Ghost Town at some point. Okay, so I might just opt it. No. This looks cooler. I don't even know if that saves time.
Swag strats that maybe don't save time?
Sounds like my kind of speedrun, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do another hover here. I can just skip. It's just more tiny optimizers. So many of these hovers are like, if you miss it, not a big deal. Super sweet if you can get it though. Like controlled by vehicles. Oh, maybe. Okay. We got it. That way we don't have to go all the way around this big bend. I also have the minimap here to help me out, which is nice. Usually you don't get that. Okay. I have to cross a loading zone there. That's fine. I just kind of punch over there. So that this hut over here will go. If you don't cross that loading zone, this hut won't be here. It's weird. We don't get to watch the pecker cutscene, the talking parrot, everyone's favorite.
I like the fact in the speedrun you're kind of just hitting random checkpoints just to go on to the next part of the game.
Exactly. That's literally what a lot of these are. Like I said, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Just they're all put together.
And then you get to do random races and mini games. Best part.
Actually, the mini games kind of just, they're the bread and butter of the speedrun. Auto scrollers can't go faster, or can't go slower. So, those are the best splits to the gold. The ones that are just like, don't go faster or slower. And you're like, where did that time come from? Make sure I get that. Fall. Okay. So this mission coming up is another kind of auto-scroller. Of course, this split fluctuates a lot depending on A, if you get the death warps, the movement to the place. Like a lot of the time save in this run is just movement. Getting hovers, doing stuff like that. And this is where I'm going to get that ammo refill. There's like a fight here. You have to protect this like green sage named Samos. You're going to like endure these waves of the Crimson Guards. And I want to do as much like melee as possible there in terms of like punching, because it's an opportunity to make sure you have maxed out of every weapon for the end game. Nice. Trees are like hollow after about halfway up, so you don't have to really worry about hitting them.
Another reason you're trying to maximize your ammo output, your ammo gain, is so you can get Peacemaker ammo, right?
Yeah, so there's a drop table, kind of, that we know of in this game. Oh, Peacemaker right off the bat, that's awesome. So I currently have 5 Peacemaker ammo, so I'm trying to get, of course, 10, which is the max. And so I want to max out everything else, because it prioritizes Peacemaker drops last. So it says, oh, you still need yellow, we'll give you that first, before I give you any Peacemaker. So I'm going to punch most of these guys, just to... They take 2 hits with both the yellow gun and just punch. Okay. Oh no, poor Samos. Okay. You don't really expect to see the drops until kind of near the end of the fight. I have to watch out. There's these flying guys. They're really finicky, so I'm trying to keep an eye on them while taking out the other waves. They're the only people that you really just kind of have to spam spray. Otherwise, they like... I should start seeing some Peacemaker now. There we go. Okay, so the mission will end after one more wave here. I'm going to see 2 more flying guys, and then after that we're good. I got like 3 hits on him, that was weird. Okay, so now we wait. Okay, and then this is another mission reset that we're gonna do. Because our checkpoint is now like on the end of the forest area, so we can just do that to fast travel. You can either do that before or after this mission. I don't like the movement going out of the forest. I think it's kind of annoying, so I just do it after. I think the difference in into is like 1 second. Really subjective. I know some runners, they just kind of like, you know, leaving as opposed to entering on the jet board. Once you press that, you can do another mission reset here. Okay. This is another opportunity to get ghosted. Nice. You'll see what I'm doing is I'm actually skipping the little airlock there. And instead, I'm just going straight into the city. You'll notice I don't have a mini-map. There's no spawns. And this helps both just for like general avoiding of stuff, and also it cuts down the time that it takes to actually sit in the airlock. Oh! Okay.
Nice flip.
Nice flip. Okay, so what we're gonna do here. Go around. You're supposed to void out there, but I accidentally entered inbounds. Because you just wanna void out under there. Let's do that again. And
Good job.
yeah, we're good. Okay, so we're gonna store a mission right there. I just talked to that guy. His name is Brudder. He's actually a lurker, which, if you remember from the first game, they were like the villains. Well, not really. They were just like they were enemies. In this game, they're not. They're like endangered, if I understand the plot correctly, and you have to protect them. And you'll see that count there with a picture of a lurker. What that is just I'm like currently tasked with like saving them, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to go do a couple other missions here because it's faster to get them out of the way now. And then when I finish those, I can do a reset here back to the lurkers. Let's see. The only thing though is I can't die during these 2 missions, or else I lose that mission storage.
Well, now that you said that.
I know, now I'm gonna die. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so we call that the drive a shame when you have to drive back. Happens a lot in races. So, it's customary. It's scenic though, so if I have to do it, no big deal. Little time save coming up. Oh. Just gonna punch him, don't really care. This is called punch board. Usually you have to walk in there. If you punch and do a jet forward into the room, you like keep it for a bit so you can kind of just like go fast. Here's a prime example of level design you see in a lot of games from this era. The end is always at the beginning, but it's just up there. So we're gonna hover up and do a cutscene like so, and we're done. People ask me, they're like, what even is that level? You're supposed to destroy these like eggs there that are like planted by this like alien evil group that like is infiltrating the city. Okay, here's the Titan suit. Only time we see the Titan suit, hopefully, in any percent. I have mixed feelings about the controls of the Titan suit, so luckily, at least for the start of this one, we can just skip it. There's a quick out of bounds that's completely free. If you just slide around that, you can skip like a little movable wall. The Titan suit is a little clunky. You do have to use it a bit for some minor platforming here. It's not so bad. This part was really scary for me when I was first starting to do this run. There's a lot of places you can just sort of fall. It just kind of stinks. But these fire pits don't have any like actual like the hitbox for the fire only exists in the middle, so you can kind of walk along the edge and not have to worry about it. So, coming up is kind of basically what I have to do right now is I have to go up to the top of this like big drill platform thing and destroy these terminals that kind of just like blow the whole thing up. There are these metal heads that are going to kind of swarm me, and they're a little RNG. The thing is, in the game, when you're playing it casually, you just kind of want to beat, you want to defeat them. So they help you out a little bit, and they give the robot this aimbot feature where if they're nearby, it'll just hone in on them. If you're just trying to, get the terminals blown up, you don't want to care about them, you just kind of want to tank them, it'll get in the way a little bit, because you'll be like, hey, look, I'm helping you, and kind of punch away from where you're kind of aiming. So let's hope this goes pretty cleanly. I'm going to try to get the first one out of the way, because it always kind of spawns right there. Okay, there. Now, it looks like the other one spawned pretty far away. Oh, nope, he's right there. Okay. Oh, and the other one's there too. I love it. If I can get these punches in before... Oh, there he goes. Okay. All things considered, this is actually pretty darn good. He's going to jump on me. Thanks. Nice. That was almost perfect. I only did one wasted punch. Okay. It's not over quite yet. Oh, we're good. They just kind of despawn. Nice. I think it's the way that the game, it like loads like the next like phase of the run. So it's like, I don't need the metalheads for this part. Get rid of them. The game has a weird way of thinking. Here's a little challenge. I have to get back. The best way to get back is using the jet board. I'm going to play it a little safe. I'm going to wait for this fire to go. Wait for a second. Oh no! Okay. So, this means we're going to have to do a little bit of driving. The jet board has a tendency to bounce off of stuff. MBB. Okay, there we go. Oh, thanks. There's maybe a skip I can get here. It's called Communicator Skip. It depends on when you skip this cutscene, you can get it. Hey, we got it. Okay. So what that does is you have to wait for that communicator to talk to you and say, like, good job, Jack. You did it. But we don't care. So we're going to skip that. Because we know we did a good job.
Minus the death.
Minus the death. So usually I would do a reset warp here to send me to the lurkers, but now I'm going to hunt for a zoomer and get driving. Okay.
Drive a shame.
Drive a shame. We're seeing it now. Live at California's on. Okay, I can do a quick ammo check though. Okay, we're doing great. I don't think it's really... It doesn't really cost you speed to change hover zones, so you want to employ that a lot when you're trying to like cut corners really sharp. There's people on the bottom, you just do a quick hover up, avoid them. Okay, so this is kind of like the halfway point in the sense of like a couple big tricks coming up after the next few missions that can make or break a lot of runs.
Now, good time for another quick donation?
Definitely.
Cool. So we have $30 from Icewind. It says, hey guys, really glad that staff was able to make this happen. See everyone there tomorrow. Here's $10 for Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland Hundo%, and $10 for each glitch exhibition. So that puts $10 towards Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, which is a 100% run instead of an any percent run. We need 90 more before that run starts. And 10 for Mario and Luigi, 10 for the Paper Mario glitch exhibition, which Icewind will be doing. So see you tomorrow.
So this mission is the one I was referring to earlier. You have to save these lurkers. There's actually 2 of these. We skipped the first one because it's in, before Mars Tomb skip. You can actually manipulate these to kind of like drop them in places where it's to your advantage. Oops. Don't come back. There we go. I'm gonna kind of lure him over here, and as soon as he kind of stops focusing on me and on like the vents, I know he's just gonna go over there. There's sort of like a range of like aggro that vent has. When he kind of crosses it, he'll be like, oh, okay, I know where to go. So you can kind of manipulate them. The trolly thing about this mission is that those cargo carrier things will just sometimes just send them flying in crazy directions. And depending on where they go, like if they fall in water, the mission ends. So we actually have sort of a manipulation for one of them to make sure he kind of goes in a safe spot. Even then, it can go south pretty quick. Sometimes, if I'm like on a really bad pace and I just want to YOLO it, I'll just kind of, disregard the facts, where they are and just kind of go for it. Which can be pretty exciting when you get it. Here's a guy, I'm going to try to manipulate this.
And so basically, you have to take these guys to the glowing spot, and if you kill the cage where they're at near the glowing spot, they'll just walk right into it.
Yeah.
Instead of you having to take it there.
Because stopping to pick them up just kind of takes a while. This is the one I was referring to. We're going to try to trap this like carrier in the corner. Because then, even if it does explode and send him launching, it'll just be right in the corner. Like that. You saw him kind of fly. So we're good. Now hop in. Sometimes they just feel like taking a stroll around the vehicle before getting in. You want to check it out. Like this way.
I like that hair flowing.
I love the hair physics in this game. It's beautiful.
This game's hair physics is on point.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's kind of what you want. He didn't go immediately to it, but you can kind of lure him in and see. He knows where he's going. We're good. Okay. Get to listen to Brother here. I love the voice acting in this game. And once again, our favorite little wall clip here.
Just casually driving through walls.
Yeah, casually driving through walls. Playing Jack, that's how it goes. Another reset warp here.
Yeah, as much as I think the voice acting in this game is actually annoying, it fits really well with the game. Like, it's well done. Yeah. It's purposefully annoying in the correct way.
Exactly. They know how to make it just kind of charmingly, obnoxious. Okay, once again, we're not going to see those NPCs for a while. This mission is actually a little scarier. Oh, that's a good omen. Nope. Okay, we're good. Good omen as I fall in a trench. Okay, we're okay. Sharp turn here. I love the skip in this game. It's not like a pit you have to vault over. It's just like, oh, let's just go this way. So, on lap 5, I'll just wait to see if it happens. I'll let you know. Okay, so. It's kind of. This is one of my lesser favorite parts of the run. Very straightforward. This run isn't particularly high intensity, or this race. It's just kind of like, don't bonk into walls and you're okay. Yeah, you don't lose. There we go. Now we're talking.
I love these races. They just feel so in place with the rest of the game.
Right? Can't tell if you're being sarcastic. Okay, do a little tactical defense and speed there. The funny thing is, if you crash into walls, Jack is like, whoa! It's really awesome.
Well, this is California.
That's true. He kind of has like a surfer dude kind of aesthetic, Got
the hair for it,
windswept hair.
With the banana.
And kind of the like, I don't follow the rules kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if all the NPCs are in this little shortcut. Oh, there's one. Actually, that's amazing RNG. Sometimes there's like 5 zoomers taking that shortcut, because the AI at least knows if it's losing a ton, it'll go all out with the strats, and it'll take all the shortcuts. Even though half the time, the AI isn't good enough to take these shortcuts, because it'll just crash into walls, it won't know what it's doing. So sometimes that'll cause a problem. There, it wasn't too bad. So we're done. There's a big cutscene that happens here. Basically, This main antagonist, he tries to kill you. He accidentally crashes his zoomer, and then everyone's like, "Ah, you did that." So now I'm being chased by all the Crimson Guards. Little pause buffer there to let me take vehicles. When there's text on the bottom of the screen, it doesn't let you interact with stuff. But if you do select and then unselect, it kind of like gives you a little window where you can actually get text prompts so you can mount zoomers. All things considered, that was a really good escape. The bullets in this game have insane knockback. So if you see them shoot me here, depending on where it hits my zoomer, it'll just send me flying in random directions. And to an extent, you can't really control it. It just depends on how many Crimson Guards spawn, how hard they aggro you. So for now, I'll take this. This is great, actually.
So you said the main antagonist crashed his zoomer?
The secondary antagonist. We actually raced him in race 2. His name's Errol.
So he can't drive a zoomer. The NPCs can't drive a zoomer.
No one can drive.
No one can drive zoomers in this game.
Yeah, you're kind of a diamond in the rough there. Oh, I didn't get the sweet grind.
Yeah.
I gotta reset, guys. Okay. Now we're gonna explore this palace.
Clearance for this gate. Access granted.
We call it, when you like hit a thing and fly up in the air, we call it a proxy. Sometimes that happens in the coordinates. If you watch the cutscene in this room before you do the skip, you'll always hard luck. So I'm gonna not watch the cutscene.
Watching cutscenes is usually not a good speed strat.
Guess what? We're gonna hover. And once again, end is at the beginning. Boink, and we're done. So if you zoom in here, you get a fast load. It just resets this mission faster. I don't know why. Did I do it? I did it. We're good.
How much faster are we talking?
We're talking like 5 seconds. It's insane.
You were right, Jack.
And that was right, Jack.
What is wrong? I need to help fix this. If you get to the weapons
So
factory, maybe we can
there was
stop
this big reveal here. So it turns out this like kind of scummy kind of like weapons dealer that you've been working with this whole time is actually evil. Whoa! Revelation. So we're gonna go defeat him. I'm actually gonna exploit the fact that I can see a timer to do like a little trick here because I need to count to 10. Okay. So this is a pretty precise hover. Perfect. This hover's awesome.
You need special
They all look
platforms
the
for the
same.
store. Access granted.
Hover's a hover. Probably don't even need the timer, but I'll watch it anyways. Now we're good. We good. This is gonna look really weird, and I can't really explain it to be honest. We call it bots, like robot skip, robo skip. I'm gonna load a death plane in the top part of here, and then I'm gonna hover up, and then trigger the death plane and die. Exploiting the camera. Looks like that. And then now we're at the top of this elevator, and we don't even need to kill the robots. Don't ask how it works, because I don't know.
You know I can't.
I'm gonna kill these. I'm gonna break these boxes. I'm gonna kill these boxes. Whatever, kill, break. With a jet board, because now when you break boxes with a jet board, it shoots the ammo at you instantly because it knows you're moving. You know, you don't have time to go pick it up. But if you do that with a box that respawns, that box will always do that. So now I can just go shoot those from far away, and it'll just give me the ammo.
It's a pretty cool fight.
This fight's really cool.
Reminds me of Flubber, 1997.
Yeah, 1997. Not as good as the Nutty Professor, 1994. A classic.
That was a classic. Shout outs to Chodo.
Shout outs to Chodo. Watch. Okay, so that was great too. Good stuff.
Like all these guys don't look menacing at all. They just look like clean blobs.
I know. Okay, I love it when Crew, the guy, first spawns them. He's like, multiple knees. Or he makes the pun, wait till you see my crew. Because Crew.
God.
Let's see.
Classic writing.
Classic writing, Naughty Dog style. Don't zap me. You zap me. Okay.
You're not supposed to touch the Flubber.
Hey,
That's just my thought. One man's opinion.
this is what I heard.
It's just what I heard.
Now I have you.
Where are you? Hey, there you go. So the Peacemaker just makes that fight faster. It does slow down the last fight because what I do, I like to do is I kind of split up the I split up the Peacemaker between this fight and then the core fight, which some people choose to use all of it for the core fight. I like just knocking it off. That's always fun.
And this is one of the reasons that Sicky got like manipulated for Peacemaker ammo early on, 20-30 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because there's not really another good place to farm it. You can farm the boxes here, but it's at the cost of a little bit of time, unless you're like really, really efficient about your movement. You get some lucky movement on these guys. Where are you? They'll just kind of. Sometimes you'll notice they were just kind of running around doing absolutely nothing. Ah, your iframes. I hate one of my Peacemakers.
And the challenger is...
Fire some ammo really quick. Hey, that's good Peacemaker job. That's what we want. Okay, we're gonna have a little more for core. So, time for everyone's favorite part of the run. And we get a good Zoomer spawn. The Zoomer RNG in this run has been impeccable.
Hey guys, this is Tess. Before crew left, I saw him hide some
So why do we do this next part? Like what?
Because we can't load the next mission without doing this. Unfortunately, there's no way to manipulate this, so we just kind of got to do it. We can trigger cutscenes outside of buildings. I don't know why you can do that. So, this is the Metalhead Mash.
This is all you can really say about it.
That's all you can really say.
Great shot.
Let's just sit back and enjoy. I love it how you get complimented though. They're like, "Great shot."
Positive reinforcement.
That's true. Sometimes I'll just hit random ones hoping one spawns right there. Yo! That's exactly what
Saves no time.
Yep, that's not a time save. So the thing is, this isn't random. Each wave has the same number of each spawn. It's just where they spawn is random. So there's always this one that gives you like a zillion. There's always like a gold coming up soon. It's like, and then it's like, you know, perfect for speedrunning. In my PB, my current PB, I lost 7 seconds to the split because I hit the reds 3 times.
Nice.
3 times save next time. Yep.
Man, I can't keep up with this.
I know, it's high intensity. Okay. So the next part coming up, the next cutscene, I'm actually going to wait a little bit because the next cutscene has a tendency to hardlock the game if you skip it too fast. So I'm going to play this next part really safe, and it's over.
You did it, fur boy.
I'm going to wait for him to smile. And, okay, that's the other scary hardlock. If you look at that door while it's opening, the game will just crash sometimes. I don't know why.
Can't look at it.
Here's a really, really cool skip. It's called Underport Skip. Instead of using the Titan suit to get through this entire, like, little maze under here, you can just load it without, like, loading the water, so you can just kind of walk freely and then hover to the end of it. Nice. This is not intended.
Oh, really?
Really good underport skip. I'm really happy I got that. If you don't get that first try, you lose about 30 seconds. So we're escorting this guy named Sig. He's really cool. He also uses a Peacemaker. Like, Peacemaker-esque weapon. And I think he's the one who, like, modified your gun to do it in the story.
You hear something?
This part's really scary.
Gonna be close.
Okay.
Faster!
I'm moving faster, Sig.
I think that's the last we'll see.
I think that's the last we'll see him. That's,
Probably.
you know, famous last words.
So you just hit the blocks onto the blocks.
Hit the blocks into the blocks.
Yeah.
King, solve it so we can go home. You figure this out. I'll
You figure this out, and I'm already done.
Great. No time to celebrate. Move your butt.
The voice actor who does Sig is the same guy who does the voice actor for the Crimson Cards. I forget his name, but he's cool. Okay.
Go, go, go. See you on the flip side.
You on the flip side.
Keep moving.
Breaking stuff's fun, right?
Yeah, freaking stuff's fun, right? That's a call back to the start when Daxter's giving you
The tutorial.
the
mission.
tutorial. Yes. Okay, so this is kind of the final stretch. So we're gonna do another auto scroller,
The artifacts dies.
and then we're gonna fight the final boss.
This game needs more auto scrollers.
Not enough auto scrollers. Well, all missions. You'll be set.
I'm guessing all missions is like auto scrollers and levels where you just hover to the end, which is right
Auto
next to the
scrolling,
beginning.
hovering. There's a little bit of actually. You don't get the jet board until about like 40 minutes in, so there is some modest parkour in there. And when I say parkour, I mean just zooming. Sometimes I like to shoot the metalheads. The reason I stole a guard zoomer here is because apparently it goes a little slower, and then once again, to circumvent a hard lock, I go a little slower. The reason is because if you look at the minimap, there are so many things on the map that the game, and like I said earlier, this game pushed the PS2 to like its limits. So it gets overwhelmed sometimes, and then it just sort of crashes. I've lost some pretty darn good runs to a hard lock in this area, like while driving to the final area.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think the most. Yeah, you were there for
That
like.
was a tough night.
I actually like. I was like. I had to take a break for a couple days. I was pretty frustrated.
And it's like, you didn't really, like, sometimes the game just freezes and you just, like, you didn't do anything wrong. You're just driving and then boom.
Yeah,
you're
it's not your
stuck.
fault. And to this day, we're still finding new ways to hardlock. Ways, I guess it's like. There isn't really like a rhyme or reason to it. I tried to do this bonkless. I didn't do it. Okay. Quick time check here. Okay, this is like 106 pace.
Don't spoil it.
That's true. Okay, so. Here's a funny thing. You can do like infinite jumps under ceilings. Oh, that's custom. Okay. So I don't want to use any yellow here, and the reason I don't want to use any yellow, hey, go away, is because you want to save all that for the core fight at the end. The final villain, his name is Core, the giant metalhead.
How many villains are there?
Baron, Errol. Although you find out in the end, Baron's not like evil. He's just kind of he's
just misunderstood.
He's misunderstood, like Jack. So and then Errol's evil. He's very evil. What was I gonna say? Go away. Okay. I'll probably switch to red in a minute. Okay. I'm mostly looking at the minimap here because I'm just looking for those red dots. I think I only got one hit on the Samos guys, which is really good. Obviously, it's better to have none, but one is not a big deal. Now it's the final stretch. The point of this mission is that they're loading up this like time machine. Because yes, there's time travel in this game. Like onto this thing so that they can send it. Whoa. Okay. That was weird. Never seen that.
That's never happened before.
I thought it just deloaded, and I was like, what do I do? Okay. So,
Half
what?
of the things in this game are just always deloaded, though.
That's a good point. I don't know why I'm surprised. Okay, there's a theoretical percent warp here, where if you can trigger a cutscene in this construction site area early, you could just warp to the very end of the game. We don't really know if there's a way to do it, but if we're gonna find another big skip, that's the skip. And that would put the run under 30 minutes probably, which would be exciting, because then all 3 Jak games would be under 30 minutes for any percent.
Would that cut out the mini game?
That would cut out the Metalhead Mash. So I think that's kind of like why we don't really want it to happen.
It wouldn't truly be any percent if you don't play the...
Yeah, it's not any percent. You're not a real speedrunner until you play Metalhead Mash 1,000 times. It's weird to think that's how many times it's in. Okay, so the aim of this part is just don't bonk stuff. Costs a lot of time. This mission is literally like, this isn't even like a, this is my favorite mission because it shows up on like the mission log as like visit the construction site, but all it is go into a room and watch a cutscene and then you're done.
Wasn't that kind of like most of the missions in this game?
When you're speedrunning it, yes, that's the gist of it. That's slow. Again, you don't actually even have to stand by the door. You're gonna hear a door open, but the cutscene like zone is everywhere, so you're just gonna stand there. It doesn't cost time to go farther in, but you don't. So now we're gonna make our way to the final fight. There's gonna be a little story here, so I don't have to explain it. Just listen.
I think now's the time to act. The metalheads are so focused on attacking the city, they may have left their nest vulnerable. Jak, you've got to get out to the wasteland and breach the nest barrier any way you can. Maybe if you get inside and take out the metalhead leader, the army will collapse. It's a long shot, but it might be our only chance.
That's a death warp. Now I'm on this card. Yeah, what they said. I'm gonna go break this like metalhead nest barrier, and then I'm just gonna fight Core. It's a couple really tricky hovers here. There was some lag in this area that can actually cause you to drop hovers. Luckily, I haven't had any hovers drop this whole run, to my knowledge, which is pretty great, all things considered. Skips a big platforming area. Hello? Okay. So. Nice. Okay, final fight. This is where I'm going to bust out all that yellow ammo, and then some Peacemaker ammo.
So time will be coming up in what, about 30 seconds or so?
It'll be coming up in about 50 seconds. Yeah, so exploding the spam spray here. Incredibly broken. Do some crowd management here. Get these guys out of my face. Yeah, I'm going to tank that hit. I don't care.
So when the boss's health in the bottom right.
Yeah, when it hits 0, we're done. It's going really well so far. He has iframes that take forever. It's really dumb. When he's on the ground like that, you can't hurt him. And they take forever when he starts moving again. So it's kind of a dumb fight. You get really antsy because your hand's on that split button, and you're just like, come on. I've actually lost runs to a split really because I thought he was gonna dead, and then I like died. Don't ever do that. Okay, time. 106.05. Nice. I will take that. That is. I was hoping for like a 106, you know, so I got it. Anyways, that's the fight. That's Jak II, any percent. Thank you very much for letting me kick off this marathon. Yeah.
All right, awesome job. Thank you so much, Sicky and Zorlax on commentary.